Hey, what's going on today, you guys? So just finished up my training session. I was making up some work from yesterday that I wasn't able to get to. It was kind of a long, grueling session this morning on just pretty much gymnastics and some aerobic work. Literally for the last hour, I feel like I've been doing nothing but push-ups, walking on my hands, some midline work, and just beating myself to a pulp. You know, it wasn't anything spectacular, but then afterwards I had some auxiliary work programmed in. It was 6 sets of just rolling through some auxiliary gymnastics movements. Wasn't anything special, wasn't anything that is really worth bragging about. But in the midst of it, I was 2 sets into it, going on to my 3rd, and all of a sudden I started hearing that voice on my shoulder of telling me, you know what, you've done enough for today. You've worked hard for the last 45 minutes. You can go home. You've done great. The kids need you. Your wife needs you. There's things that need to get done with the business. There's things that need to get done on the website. You name it. All of a sudden, that list of things that aren't necessarily urgency or time driven on it needed to get done, because that little voice was saying, you know what, you've had it for today. You know, and all of a sudden, as I was going through this, like, you know what, you're right. I could do 4 sets and I could be done and I could be home and I could say, you know what, I did my work for today. But then as I was going through it, I had that other voice come in. All of a sudden that voice is saying, you know what, you said you were going to do something. You said you were going to do 6 sets and you need to do this. You know, you put your name on it. You need to follow through with it. And it wasn't anything spectacular, you guys. It wasn't a PR performance. It wasn't anything that, you know, I'm gonna post on Instagram and look for a pat on the back or anything like that. But it was one of those times that it was an internal negotiation going on of whether or not I did enough for the day, or if I did enough to succeed in the way that I want to succeed. You know, and all of a sudden that voice of reason was coming through of saying, you know what, months down the road now, when you're actually going to be able to put all your work into application, the last thing you want to do is look back on today and say, I wish I would have stuck that out. I wish I would have done those 2 or 3 extra sets of work. Maybe that would have made a difference, you know. And right now, I don't know if it's going to make a difference. I don't know if those 2 or 3 extra sets that I put in when I was going to leave is going to pay off or make all the difference in the world months down the road. But I know for damn sure that if I didn't do it, that isn't going to help me. I could be home right now. I could be at home with my kids. I could be at home with my wife. Could be home working on other things. But right now, I have the ability to chalk what I did up in the victory column. And I know for a lot of you guys that this time of year, you're trying to change habits. You're trying to change your life. You're trying to turn habits into good habits. And so that's all I'm trying to get to you guys today. Is for me today was a victory. It wasn't maybe a physical victory, but today was a mental victory. It was for me getting over the hump on the time that I wanted to pretty much shut it down. I told myself to push through, strive through, and get better, and I got better for it. So for you guys that are trying to make the change, that's all it is, you guys. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully, you know, when you're going through those times of all of a sudden that voice of saying, you know what, I want to go home. I want to go home, watch TV. I want to go home and hang out with my friends. I want to go hang out with my kids, whatever that may be. I put in 6 minutes of extra work, and right now I feel way more accomplished than anything than if I would have just packed it up and left. So hopefully this helps you out, you guys. If you have any questions, need help with anything, by all means feel free to hit me up on whatever. But strive for your goals, you guys. Change your thought process up here, and you can accomplish anything in the world. It's just you got to put your work in, and you got to change your thought around what you're trying to do. So hopefully it helps. Take care, you guys. Talk to y'all later. See you, gang.